Reality is like a film set. There are directors, action, producers,
Are we on schedule?
and even actors.
Can somebody get me a coffee?
The trick is realizing that you are playing all of these roles. You are the executive producer of your reality. My name is Daniel,
My name is Lauren.
and we're here to break the fourth wall to discover what's behind the scenes. And what you hear just might have you saying, "That's so meta."
Welcome back to That's So Meta, where we discuss the mystical, magical, and metaphysical. I'm your host, Lauren Marie.
And I'm your co-host, Daniel James.
It's been a minute. We did take the month of August off because we have been so busy. But we're back, and we're very excited to be back. A lot of things happened, but we can absolutely catch you up on it. But today's episode will be about...
Entity attachment.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll do is maybe we'll make this first half maybe a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of an update on us, and then we will give you guys our perspective, tools, and teachings on entity attachment.
Sounds good.
Couple of special announcements maybe here and there.
Yeah, we've been up to quite a bit. So beginning of August, we had a wonderful opportunity with a longstanding client of ours to go to a summer camp that he hosts every year for young boys. And it's a mentoring camp where they are exposed to, new ideas and new activities that they can try out, which they might not be able to in their day-to-day life. Some activities include like baking and cooking and yoga. Others are like car repair and archery. Like it's very well versed in
Experiences. It's
Experiences.
a mentoring camp for inner city kids
in Philadelphia.
that don't have a lot of opportunity to, experience these life skills, from mentors and adults.
Yeah. So that was amazing. It was, what was it, 3 days? of
4
filming?
days.
4 days of filming?
4 days. 4 long days.
Yeah.
This is our second year at the KB Power Mentoring Camp. KB Power is a wonderful man, long-time collaborator and client of mine, going on close to 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we do this camp for him and the kids. It was a lot of fun.
was
It's
a blast.
an endurance challenge, but it's great working with the kids and getting to know them and capturing the camp in the creative way that we do video.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's also interesting for us because we both now work from home. It was also an expansion of experience for us, meeting all these different adults that came in to teach the classes. And we made a couple really wonderful connections. So it was even expansive for us, which was
Yeah.
really cool.
Very spiritually conscious people at the camp this year. Was awesome synchronicity.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, we do this for a living. This is how we support our cost of living, and we love what we do. And we are in the long process of editing all of the footage over the course of the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody is interested in seeing these films, they are on all of our social media, our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTubes. It's all there. You guys can kind of see what we've done, and we'll be doing some behind the scenes edits as well.
Yeah. Fun story about the camp. For the kids, they did a car repair exercise, and they taught the kids, some general basic car maintenance things. And one of them was how to change a tire. And we got some really awesome footage of the kids participating in that. The Justin's Garage, is that the name?
Yeah.
Comes every year to KB's camp, and he does, a different car repair thing for the kids. And it's really wonderful. We were so excited to meet him. It was great. Not that long after the camp, though. I mean, this was a couple weeks, but I was driving home and I blew a tire, and I had to use what I learned at KB's camp to figure out how to put a donut on my car, which I think is hilarious. Like, it's amazing how the universe works. How I just figured out I was reminded how to change a tire, and then I blew a tire.
Yeah.
Is that not the funniest thing?
It's the way of the world. It's the way of the universe.
Yeah.
At least we were prepared. We learned those life skills at the camp. And,
so thank you, KB Power.
Yeah, if
For
you
the
guys,
reminder.
you know what? I'll put a little picture of the scene. So if you're listening now, look now, and you'll see a picture of Lauren changing her own tire
It was a
on the side of the road.
empowering experience.
We just moved.
Yeah.
We made a big move. Big, long, arduous move during the hurricane. Okay? So if you're
Yeah.
familiar with the hurricane, it did reach our area where we live. You know, we were hit by that. And the move was happening during that. But we have moved to a much safer place and a more comfortable place that I'm very familiar with. This is the third time that I've lived here. And third time is a charm. So I'm very happy to be home. I'm happy to be somewhere familiar where I have fond memories. And this will be a place that Lauren and I can work a little bit more consciously and privately. So I'm very excited to have been moved.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about the project that we just finished today? Well, for Mr. KB Power, we were brought to Buffalo, New York to do some filming for him at the UB campus, where we filmed for the Buffalo Bulls, the college football team. Mr. KB was a speaker for the team, giving them a motivational pep talk for the game they were having that night, to which they won by a lot of points. And we were hired as specialists to come film this event. And the video is done. It is completed and will be released on our social media soon. And I'm very, very proud of the way that it came out because Mr. KB is a powerful speaker and a powerful mentor. And we have been growing together for so many years that I am very proud of the work I have produced for him. We have produced for him. I'd love you guys to check it out because this is what we do. This is our day job. This is
Yeah.
how we live. And please go take a look.
And especially with a project that we've put so much, like we had a lot of creative control over it, and we've put so much of our like touch into it that, I would love for everybody to check it out.
Our heart and soul is in there. It's a very strong,
Very
strong film.
Mm-hmm.
On the topic of our films and our videos, we do have several other projects coming out that will be free to watch. I have a Halloween-themed horror film called The Phantom Witch, which will be out in time for Halloween. We shot that here at this house that I'm living in now 6 years ago, so that's cool. We have the Bermuda Triangle of Pennsylvania, which is our long time coming documentary on cryptozoology, where 4 friends go out to investigate a very strange paranormal geographical area of Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. So that's coming this fall as well. Miss Lauren and I have produced her directorial debut.
Yeah.
That project is a little bit more secret right now. We're not disclosing too much about it until it's just ready to go. But Lauren, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience kind of just, producing and directing your own film?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely super nerve-wracking because I don't generally create things that are just mine. And to be fair, this one isn't totally mine because we wrote it together.
A collaborative.
It's a very collaborative experience. It's a micro short, so I only expect it to be,
3 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes. I mean, really, really not much at all. But it was just, we wrote it together driving home from, Buffalo. And then we got an actress to come on who also took on some, minor producing roles and stuff. So just with the 3 of us, we created a little short film that I put a lot of myself into, and I'm very proud of it, but I'm also very nervous.
Yeah.
Because it's my first thing. But very excited for that.
I'm
It's
proud
called
of it
Holbrook.
too. Holbrook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starring a friend of ours, Amber, who was in another film we produced, Somatica. And I'm proud of Lauren for directing this film and producing it. And she got the bug, and now she wants to do more. And now I'm like, well, I want to do more. And so that will be free to watch on our social media as well, coming this fall. We got a ton of stuff coming this fall.
Yeah.
And I'm also writing a lot, and I'm investing a lot of my own personal money in a passion project that I've been working on for 17 years. More about that coming soon. You know, so this is what we do, guys. We're filmmakers, we're videographers, we're content creators. We do passion projects. We work for our clients, and we're having a lot of fun. And you know, we always have projects happening. We have this beautiful project right now called Made of Love by another client of ours, which is almost done and will be online this fall.
Yeah.
It's a very peaceful, you know, spiritually awakening project that spreads light. You know, it's amazing, and I've been having a blast producing it for a few months, and I feel like we'll be doing several projects for him. So what we're giving you this big speech, guys, is because we want you to go check out our work.
Yeah.
That's what we do full time.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job and our joy. Check us out. Watch our stuff. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything we've been up to in August.
That's why we're so busy.
If you missed us for a month,
Yeah.
it's because of all of these things, you know, and
So that's a great point. You know, we want to do 2 episodes a month.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do 1. Sometimes we miss a whole month. I have another podcast that I do. We just did an episode on Celestial Oddities, Pair of Normal Guys, which is the Missing 411. Go check it out. But this is why we're so busy. And we just want to share with you guys, because times are crazy right now. You have to stay focused on where your power is. And right now, that's where we're at. You know?
yeah. Check us out. Like, subscribe, share,
Comment.
comment.
Guys, this just in. Breaking news. Have you seen the Matrix 4 trailer?
Oh my God.
Bro.
Oh my God.
Bro.
Bro.
Listen. Some people hated The Matrix Reloaded. Everybody hated The Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
But something feels different this time.
Here's what I think. I don't usually watch trailers.
I had to beg her to watch it with me.
Yeah, I don't usually watch them because I trailers today, they're so they just tell you the whole movie.
They give too much.
They give so much, and no matter how ambiguous they try to be, the whole movie's right there, and then you watch it and you're like, yeah, that of course. So I try to avoid trailers as much as possible, but you begged me to watch this trailer, and all I'm gonna say is that it better be as good as the trailer was.
Trailer's sick.
I
I actually like the teaser.
Yeah, the teaser was amazing. The trailer was amazing. So it better. That's all I'm going to say. I'm so excited. I don't want to get my little heart broke. It's too important.
The Matrix is a core staple in my life. If you know me personally, you know that film has inspired my entire career. It is the catalyst of a spiritual awakening. You can still reference that movie as a documentary into a lot of parallels in our real life. All my work has been inspired and influenced by it.
We have a episode of your Reality Mechanics.
Reality
that is,
Mechanics.
like directly a Matrix.
It exists in the Matrix universe. So go to, I think it's episode 3. Episode 3, Reality Mechanics.
We have an Agent Smith.
We have an Agent Smith. We have an agent. Inspired by the Matrix and my film Those Who Seek. Go check that out. I'll put the link in the comments. Watch it.
Yeah.
It's dope. So I've met Keanu Reeves. I was almost in the Matrix 4 as a background extra. Little side tangent on that. I was going to be a background extra in Chicago when suddenly, you know, as the business aspect were for television and film, they were offered a better tax incentive to stay in San Francisco as opposed to moving to Chicago for a few weeks. So the casting process for all the background for Chicago was suddenly canceled, and everybody stayed in San Francisco before they went overseas to finish production. And that's when I lost the opportunity to be in the Matrix 4 as a background extra, which would have been a dream come true. Because I had just got myself in Bill and Ted. So Bill and Ted Face the Music. I'm visible on screen in the credits. Tried getting the same thing for the Matrix 4. Didn't happen. Cried my little eyes out.
Yeah.
But we will be there to see the movie.
Absolutely.
And we hope that it's great.
Very excited for it. last thing that I'm going to bring up, and this is just for selfish reasons. I have the rock on my shirt. My sister made this for me.
It's pretty cool.
I love it with all my heart and soul. It's my favorite sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good on you too.
Thank you.
I like the collar
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
Thanks, Casey. It's my sister. Thanks, Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Today's lecture will be a little dark, but I have been called to cover this topic on the show because it will be useful and beneficial to those it resonates with. Today's episode is about entity attachment. And what I will do is I will go through and break down a couple types of entities, why we experience them, why they manifest, and how we can deal with it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Entity attachments. So what is an entity attachment? Well, we're going to start with the types and the variants. An entity attachment is invisible. You don't generally hear it, see it, taste it, or touch it, but it is something that is in your field. Okay? Entity attachments can manifest in your auric field, in your light body. They can manifest in your subconscious mind. They can also attach and manifest physically in your body, in your organs. And we'll talk about that as well. So, what are they and where do they come from? Okay, there's a variety of different sources for what we're calling entity attachments. Just a few are what we're dealing with if you've ever heard of the jinn, kind of like the genie type of creatures. These are higher dimensional, higher density creatures that attach onto lower density conscious beings. There are fourth density parasites. Okay, so I've talked about this a million times on the show. We are third density, third dimensional beings. Well, fourth dimensional beings. And there are density frequencies above us. Well, all of the beings that are in a lighter density consciousness can perceive all of the beings beneath them in lower vibratory fields. It's just harder to perceive upwards towards them. So what that means is there could be beings all around us, entities all around us at all times that are well aware of our presence. Mm-hmm. We just cannot hear, see, or taste or touch them, right? Fourth density parasites, these are your bottom feeders. These are your creepy crawly creatures in the night that, horror films are made about, mm-hmm. And they exist. We just don't see them. Mm-hmm. These can attach to us, okay? You've got your demonic and your daemonic entities. Now, not all of these beings are negative or malevolent. From what I understand, many of them aren't at all. They just have a certain, dogma or stigma attached to them. But then again, some of them are malevolent and can attach to you. You have certain species, I'm going to be very specific about this, certain species of sauroid, that's your reptilian. Fourth density and some third density highly psychic sauroid species can be parasites and can attach onto us, mentally and physically and drain us. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, you have very simply passed on humans. You have souls, spirits, what you would call ghosts. Those beings as well, who have, gone through their physical transition and exist in the fourth density frequency now where they're more ethereal, they're more, less physical than we are. They can stay behind and they can attach to humans. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of emotional reasons for this. So that's just a list of some of the entities that can attach to us, whether it be physically, consciously, subconsciously, spiritually. There's a lot of variety of ways that they can, attach. Okay. Mm-hmm. So why and how do they attach to us? Well, there's a variety of reasons that entities will gravitate towards somebody and be attracted to certain types of people. that are going through certain types of circumstances and they're in certain states of being that is more attractive to them. So speaking more practically about their attraction, just as simple as drugs and alcohol, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a common theme explored that alcoholism and alcohol abuse invites you to entity attachment. Because when you're using drugs and alcohol, you're altering your vibrational frequency, generally speaking, lowering it. You're toxifying your body. You're altering your consciousness. You're operating more physically unaware.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're disempowered through drugs and alcohol, we're not ourselves exactly. We're creating these holes or these pockets in our awareness, these blind spots, where these things can not only be attracted to and spot you like a beacon in the dark, like a light tower, like a moth to a flame. But not only are they more attracted to you, can they see you better, but now they have more to feed on because they generally feed on dense, lower vibrational energy. Another way is abusive relationships, toxic work or living environments. Anything, guys, that can lower your vibrational frequency.
Anything that bums you out.
Anything that bums you out a little bit. Puts you in a densified, lower oscillating Hertz value, okay, speaking scientifically. When you're in those frequencies, you're closer to what they seek out, what they're attracted to, what they feed on, like a parasite. And so people who are in toxic, abusive relationships or unhappy at work or going through a lot of physical or emotional trauma, you are very attractive to entities and parasites too.
And you're also more vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So these are just some of the ways that these are just some of the reasons and the circumstances that a particular person might be attractive to these types of beings and these attachments. And there could be a variety of other reasons as well, but just look at where you might be in your life. Okay. The next thing I want to discuss is, how do you know if you are dealing with an entity attachment? How do you know if you have a malevolent presence, following you around, or maybe existing in your home or attached to your body or into your subconscious mentally? How do you know, right? Well, there's a lot of signs. Once you learn how to identify them, it can be pretty easy to know if you're dealing with something like this. If you're somebody who is manifesting physical aches and pains in your body, could be anywhere from your toe all the way to your top of your head, but generally speaking, it will be maybe a joint pain or in your torso and your organs. Okay, you don't have any medical condition, but you might be having physical discomfort in that area. Oftentimes, entity attachments will literally latch onto your body in a physical way, and obviously they're invisible, but they will kind of hide in your physical vessel. So if you're having unidentifiable pain, your first thing you want to do is see if there's an emotion or a thought process or a string of thoughts attached to that ache. And that can be a way of helping you identify that maybe there's a trauma there. Maybe there's an emotional, dense attachment there that is something that you need to process, you need to face, you need to deal with, that you're storing in your body. And these entities will gravitate to that area of focus and literally attach onto you. Could be, draining your life force in a sense.
There is a book that we purchased a long time ago called Metaphysical Anatomy. And that is a great, great tool to help identify where you're storing your trauma and your emotional distress. It has everything in it from like carpal tunnel to, cancer. So it's a great way to sort of look at the areas of your body that are in pain and in distress that you can't totally find a reason for, and identify the trauma that you're carrying there in an effort to release some of the density that you're storing in that system.
And if you do that work, you go through the process, the entities that are attracted to that particular circumstance will dissipate. They will dissolve. They will go away. You'll be no longer attractive. Okay? So what are some other ways that you can identify if you're dealing with one of these? Well, they can be attached to geographical areas, similar to your spirits and your ghosts. And but generally speaking, I find that it is the observer, the awareness of the person, that is always sort of generating the experience, the manifestation of these beings. So there could be an entity that is attracted to an object or to a house or to a location. And if you are experiencing any of the paranormal in this area, or animals are picking up on the energies there, you could be dealing with a variety of different entity attachments that are attracted to that object, to that place. We as sovereign creative beings, we're always in control of helping release these entities, helping them move on and cross over. So if it's not directly attached to you, but you are noticing a presence in an area, like a ghost or a phantom or something into that sense, you are able to clear these as well with a variety of different modalities. But you'll notice it in strange happenings around you or through the presence of your animals. Your animals are very hypersensitive to these presences of all kinds, and they can spot them and help you spot them as well. So cats are particularly good at this. Mm-hmm. Another identifier is your emotional state and your thought process. Now, one way that entities will feed on you is they want to help instigate your mood and your emotions. So you're dealing with archonic energy. These, energy vampires is what we can call entity attachments. Maybe you're dealing with these archons or some sort of fourth density plasmatic parasite. They oftentimes are attracted to people who are on drugs and alcohol because they are feeding on your thought process. They're feeding on your negativity like an energy source. Okay? Some call this energy luge, which is what, some of the more negative reptilians are attracted to, the luge. Well, if you are noticing that you're having a string of regular or repeated negative thoughts that don't necessarily feel like your own, maybe you're generally in a good mood, or you're doing something, and then suddenly you'll have these negative self-affirming thoughts. Or you're getting angry very quickly for no apparent reason. You're not generally mad, but you're getting triggered easily. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, if you have an archonic attachment or an entity attachment, they can influence your mood and your thoughts to be more on the negative bandwidth. Because as you generate, you are an oscillating power source. And as you emit these negative emotions and these anger frequencies, they feeding on this. Fear, okay, is one of their most valuable assets. Anger, fear, frustration. So they can help influence your mood and your personality and your thoughts to be putting out more of this negative frequency that they're attracted to. So if you're having these thoughts that don't always feel like your own, or you're getting unnecessarily angry or being impatient, out of character for you, you could be dealing with, more of an emotional, subconscious, or auric sort of entity attachment or archonic energy. So that can be a good indicator. And I also want you guys to know that these beings are often transient, so they come and go, and we can collect them as we're out about in the world, or we're dealing with people who are more negative and more angry, or maybe we run into a lot of people while we're out in public who have their own entity attachments. They can sort of like gravitate. If you're going through any sort of trauma or stress in your life that's perpetual, you will be attractive to them. You can then collect these entities, and they will attach to your auric field or to your emotions. So look at your emotions, your thought processes, your mood. Are you experiencing your own, or are you being influenced into having certain thoughts and feelings that are more dense that is then being fed on, okay? So now that we've identified what they are, where they come from, and how to know if you're dealing with something like that, so how do we remove them? How do we eliminate them? How do we remove them from our field of awareness, whether that's physically, mentally, subconsciously, spiritually, etherically? How do we remove them? Okay? Well, this is where the power comes in. There is no one way to successfully achieve entity removal. We are the creator beings here, and they need us for life. to be sustainable. So we're in control. It's a matter of having an awareness that they exist and they might be present. That's the first step. And your power is right there. Because now you can choose to not experience these creatures, these beings, these entities anymore. How you remove them is up to you. Whatever you resonate with, whatever you feel called to use, will be a powerful tool that will work for you. And I want to say that in an empowering way so that everybody knows that not just one thing. You don't need to go get a shaman. You can if you want. You don't need to go get an exorcist. You can if you want. But you can do this yourself because all of your reality is created from within you. Okay, so these beings are an aspect of you and subservient to your will.
Right.
The only reason that they have power is because they hide in our blind spots. And we don't know that they're there. Once we discover their presence, we're now back in control. Okay? Variety of ways to remove these things. I'll tell you guys my favorite last. Okay? If you think that smudging your house with sage will work, that could be very effective because the action and your willpower behind doing the smudging and using the smoke, which is purifying, is a powerful environmental detox because your will behind it, like magic. Your will and your power is what gives magic its efficacy. Okay? If you feel like using crystals and placing them in grid formats or building a grid or a vortex around your property, you can do that. You can make vortexes on a piece of paper or a sticker, or you can code things. Okay? We have these stones and these crystals that we have collected along our journeys. I have one stone here, one crystal here, one crystal here, and a stone. Okay? You can actually focus on protection. You can focus on the removal of anything that does not serve you in a positive way, the detoxing and the purification of everything, and you can focus that onto your stones. And you put one at every corner of your home or your property. Okay? You take a marker and you would write just a marking of any kind while you're focused on your own protection. You put that at all 4 points of your property. Now you've created a vortex of protection that these beings generally cannot go within. Similar to you would see in a movie. They depict those things in movies, your abracadabras, because it works. Okay? But that's creating a protection vortex. You can also use a very simple, powerful element that we all have access to. It is hematite and iron. Right? Lauren and I wear these hematite rings for spiritual protection because your plasmatic etheric archons, your fourth density parasites, all of these beings that aren't fully physical in the 3D, they seem to be they seem to have an aversion to iron and hematite. So what I would say is you can wear iron and hematite as a pendant. You can wear it as jewelry. You can carry the pendants in your pocket or in your car. These will, like magic, help repel and deflect these entities from your presence. That's also hematite as well. We have a bunch of it. I know that sounds simple, guys. I know it sounds airy-fairy, new agey. I know it sounds like magic. But the reason that you see all of these things depicted in entertainment is so that you won't actually believe in it. So that you won't actually use it in your real life and benefit from it. Okay? We're just here to offer tools and options. Now, my favorite, and I feel like most effective exercise to entity removal is whether you know that they're there or not. Emotionally, spiritually, consciously, subconsciously, physically, in your space. They can be there. Okay? We need to accept that so that we can learn how to take action. Every single physical item, every single person, human, animal, planetary body has what's called as a toroidal field. A toroid. You can research this, Google it, look it up. We're getting into geometry here. We're getting into math. But everything has a vibrational frequency, a Hertz value that oscillates at a certain speed, and everything and everyone has a toroidal field. So the toroidal field, and I would say look it up right now, you can actually see what it looks like. It almost looks like a vortex cone-shaped energy field that comes out from your solar plexus or your heart, your chest, and it emanates out. And they radiate about 15 feet in a direction, but you can expand it. You can make it bigger. It's invisible, okay? But it is an energy field, toroidal field. This is your frequency. This is your protective shield. If you're familiar with an aura, similar to that. And in this toroidal field is your direct connection to source, to all that is, to the ether, which of course we are source, but it is your total fabric connector to that aspect of yourself. If you feel like you have entity attachments or archonic energies, sit down or stand, whichever you prefer. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. And imagine your toroidal field starting from your chest and emanating out of you. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is imagine the color of your toroidal field. Is it green? Is it violet? Is it blue? Is it red? Whatever color it is to you, that's what color it needs to be. It may not be the same for every person. You're going to imagine this toroidal field coming out of you, and it's spinning like a vortex, and it's turning into this color that you envision. And then the next thing I want you to do is imagine this toroidal field being like a net, like a fisher's net, or like a web or a screen. And it is literally pulling anything that doesn't belong to you away. Entity attachments, passed on people, jinn, soroid consciousness, parasites, archons, whatever it is that comes and goes. You're pulling these away from your physical vessel. You're pulling these away from your auric field, out of your consciousness, out of your mind. And you're dissipating them. You're removing them from your field. And the toroidal field is king. It is law. It is God to you. It is all that is, because it is your total fabric of source. And all of these beings, these entities, are subservient to you when you call upon that power, your power. So this toroidal field now is pushing everything away and dissolving it out of your field. And this can take seconds to be totally effective. Maybe it'll take you a half an hour or an hour. Maybe it'll take you once a day for a week. Maybe you only have to do it once. But this exercise is powerful because it gets you into the thought process and the mindset that you're in control here. And although these beings can attach onto you and they can drain from you, they can only do that as long as they remain in your blind spots, or you deny that they exist, or you pretend like they're not there, or they only exist in the movies. So now you're taking this exercise to remove them. You're taking your power back. And once you do any number of these purifying exercises, whether you're just using sage or you're building a vortex with your crystals or a piece of paper, or you're doing this toroidal field exercise, you're taking your power back. You're exercising your free will ability to say, I no longer want to be influenced or affected by any negative presence. So give it a try. It's powerful. I've done it. I do what's called as a maintenance dose, okay? Where I will send my toroidal field out whenever I'm feeling particularly frustrated or impatient or angry, having negative thoughts that I don't feel like belong to me. And as I do this exercise, just breathing and visualizations, I might have literally spontaneous healing. I'm serious. An ache or a pain could go away that was sticking with me for a few days. Or a negative belief that I had about a particular thing that was perpetuating but wasn't making me feel good. I'll see it from a new, more empowering perspective suddenly. Just from doing this basic exercise, because it's the intention and the action behind it that sort of moves reality to bend in your favor, instead of us just, kind of coasting along and being pushed and pulled in any direction. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I love that. I love that exercise. I think that any visualization of your power is going to empower you in some way. And toroidal fields, like you say, are like the epitome of your source of power.
It's your connection.
As much as I validate entity attachments as a concept, I personally believe that you are more responsible for your situation than people want to admit.
Well, I like that.
And I feel that I feel that anytime you want to put the blame on, like, people need permission slips, and you need to take steps to understand yourself and your power. And however you decide to take that path is up to you. And along the way, you'll need permission slips that are, an entity attachment. But I feel that anytime that you are putting the blame on something outside of yourself, you are giving that thing power rather than giving yourself power and just eliminating that thing from your awareness. So from my perspective, not to be dismissive of the idea of entity attachments, I feel that you could be more, take responsibility for it rather than an us versus them perspective.
I like that a lot.
But what do I know?
No, but what you're saying, which I'm glad that you mentioned, is I feel like what you're saying is we want to take responsibility as the creator here. And we don't want to assign too much responsibility to these entities who are seemingly outside of ourselves, which I mentioned they are not.
Exactly.
They are part of ourselves. They are within us. You don't want to shift the blame to them.
Right.
And I like that concept a lot.
I'm a big believer that our emotions and the trauma that we hold on to in our body is a big unconscious manifester of our ailments and our situations.
Facts.
It's true. It just, I feel that it just is true. And if the manifestation of our ailments is what you call a jinn, that makes total sense. That is fitting. And if you know how to remove a jinn rather than directly face the trauma that caused your jinn,
that attracted
then that's absolutely the path that you need to take, because that's the way that you are deciding to clear the trauma. Does that make sense?
Yes, I love that. So important.
So,
because that still puts the responsibility back on our seat.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful.
Yeah. But as long as you're not entirely saying, oh, jinns just love me.
Right.
They just love coming after me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I just have a lot of this negative density around me.
Yeah.
That's
blame shifting.
Yeah, that's not constructive because you're not doing the work to look within.
Correct.
That's my opinion on entity attachments.
No, very good. And I'm glad that you said that. And so we can circle back on what I said, that all of these beings are within us. And they are in some way, shape, or form an aspect of ourselves. So instead of labeling them as the villain and the perpetrator and these things infecting us, we want to take responsibility for our participation in their creation. Right? And that's why I feel like doing an exercise is so empowering. Whatever your method is, whatever your tools are, that's putting you back in the creator's seat and reclaiming your responsibility in their creational process. You guys can research the concept of an egregor. Okay? These are physical manifestations of our own thoughts and beliefs and feelings. And that's what I believe all entity attachments are and archonic presences. So we want to claim that responsibility. That gives us even more power.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I've been holding a crystal. I hold crystals every episode for whatever reason. This one, I can't remember the name of it. It's like snake skin something or something along snake, but it looks like a little mushroom.
No, it does.
It's like a little, I don't know. It's totally accidental. It's not carved.
It does look like a mushroom.
But it looks exactly like a little mushroom. And it's my favorite gemstone that I have.
Where did we get that?
I don't know. I found it in a crystal shop. I don't even remember which one, but I happened across it. And it's my favorite.
Nice.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the attention on my crystal.
Well, since we're doing show and tell, I will give you guys real quick my favorite, my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
This is my burnt wood chip. Chip, when I say chip, I mean microchip. This is my wood chip that I was given as a gift from the Sasquatch in Mount Shasta. We've talked about this before. I have a YouTube episode about it. But very briefly, the history to this wood chip is I was giving them food every night. They were coming around the house, the Airbnb that we were renting, and I was leaving food underneath at the base of this tree. And every morning I'd go out and check and see if they'd eaten it or not, or what they took, what they didn't take. And at the last day that I left food out, they wedged this wood chip. It's burnt, by the way. One side was burnt and one side is not burnt, which is very strange. They wedged it in the dirt exactly where I was leaving the food. So that's my favorite item that we keep here on our grid, our podcast grid. Special announcement, guys. We are going to attempt a live YouTube stream. Okay. The next episode, what is it? 21, 22?
Yeah, 21 will be the next one. This one's 20, I think. 20th episode.
This is our 20th episode. So, congratulations.
Yeah, you too, dude.
Yes. So, special announcement. We will be attempting our very first YouTube live. Okay. So, the next episode, I believe it's 21. We will be attempting a YouTube live stream where we can interact and engage with whoever comes in the chat. So, we'll film it like this, but we'll also do a live stream. So, we'll test that out, see how it works. But let us know if that's something you guys are interested in.
Yeah, and we'll probably make announcements of like the date and time and all that stuff on Daniel's social media.
Yes.
So as we get closer to picking a date and time,
we'll announce it
and promote it on the social media.
Instagram, Facebook,
Daniel James.
YouTube. Let's go.
Lego.
Lego. Thank you very much, guys. This has been Entity Attachment. Lauren, would you like to say any final words?
Thanks for watching for 20 episodes. It's a big deal for me personally. I've never stuck with anything this long.
I'm glad that you did. It's been arduous at times and easy at others.
Yeah. Cheers.
Episode 20, that's so meta.
That's so meta.